Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. It is a Thursday afternoon as I am doing this reading using a very dark tarot deck, the Murder of Crows. There it is. Trying to get my fingers out the way so you can see it. The Murder of Crows, a very dark tarot, and that's the spine of the box. Very, very dark because I'm looking at the mood in Montecito. We assume that the Harkles are home. They've been pretty quiet. They didn't leave immediately. They hung around for a bit, waiting possibly for scraps from the royal table. That one-on-one with King Charles, perhaps looking for a lift home. Allegedly flew commercial out of Heathrow, but who knows with them if they managed to scrounge a lift on a private jet. But I'm going to look and see just how they're doing, what the mood is at Mudslide Mansion in Montecito. Each of them individually, how they're feeling. Are they angry? Are they despairing? Are they upset? Are they gloating? Harry and Meghan separately, and then their next steps. Are they going to clap back? Are they going to go scorched earth? They're going to try and ingratiate themselves with the royal. How's it going to go? So a 7-card reading using the Murder of Crows tarot, and then I'm also going to be seeing how they felt before they went to the UK as opposed to how they feel now, looking back at how things went rather badly wrong for them in the UK. Snoring in the background is Tess. I have the dogs in here and Fluffy with me. Doors closed because it's very cold outside, very cold and windy and rainy, unseasonally so. And I do apologise for not being around yesterday. Let me shuffle a bit. I had a sudden family business matter that I had to attend to that took me away from home for a while, so I wasn't around at my usual tarot time. And we have terrible load shedding going on in South Africa at the moment, disastrous situation in this country, and so it just wasn't possible to get to do readings yesterday, and I do apologise for that. I really wanted to, and the readings are building up, all kinds of things going on, books coming out, more books in the pipeline, stories leaking. Ben Goldsmith having things to say about Meghan Markle. I'm going to be looking at him next today, if I get to it. But for now, one more shuffle. Using the Murder of Crows tarot, 7-card reading. How are things back in Montecito? Now they're home. We're not looking at children. We're not looking at things like that. We're not looking at finances. We'll look at all of that. We've got catching up to do in terms of readings. But just, I want to know the tone. Dents in the wall, new crockery, tears, gloating. What's the tone? And the tone is not good with that card as the underlying energy. And that, of course, is the Tower. The Tower... The tower has fallen and I have got a dog. Yeah, a dog on the move. He'll just have to wait. The Tower as the underlying energy. It's very, very significant that the Tower has fallen for the Harkles. A catastrophe, shock. Things, they really didn't expect things to be going the way that they went. They're in shock. That's the underlying energy of this reading. They're absolutely in shock that how the mighty have fallen. Not a message I normally get with the Tower card. Normally you see lightning and people falling from the tower, but we don't need to see that. We know that. That's what this card means. Things are... the Harkles didn't see this one coming. That's for sure. So under any of these cards, this Tower energy is what is going on right now with them. Crisis, absolute crisis and shock. So just signifier for their situation right now. And we get the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is travel. It's journeying. So that is literally what they have been doing. We'll take the Tower away. They have been traveling, they have been moving, but it is impetus, enthusiasm. It is it's not the knight, it's the page. I do apologise. I sometimes get these cards confused, and especially when the dog is scratching at my door. This murder of tarots is quite hard. When you don't use it all the time, I sometimes forget what the symbols are down here. It's the page. It's the page of wands. I do apologise. And that's news and that's communication. Trying to get the PR out. That's what they're doing. I must ignore the scratching at the door and focus on the cards. It's amazing how as soon as I start doing these readings, he starts to shuffle around. My senile old husky. Anyway, so they're trying to get their message out. They're trying to get back on track with their message, getting the message out to anybody who will have it, whether it's the cut or people or hello or Gail King or whoever it is, sending out the good news out on Twitter. She's been busy on Twitter, allegedly, and let's throw in the disclaimer that of course this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes, or just my opinion. Disclaimer in the box below. Please form your own opinions about whether that is her Twitter account and what she has been doing, but getting the message out, working very hard to put a positive spin on what is going on. That makes a whole lot more sense, the page of wands, than the knight. So let's see individually. This is Harry's side of the reading. This is Megan's side of the reading. How is he feeling right now? What's his mood? Is he furious? Is he depressed? What's going on? And we get the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting card. Queen of Pentacles. In reverse it is, oops, I'm trying to get the shine off these things. In the reverse it is of course the Queen that has passed. The Queen of Pentacles, that's the one thing about it, the Earth sign Queen who has passed. That's on his mind. But more than that, the Queen of Pentacles is also a loyal and supportive woman, a good wife. Laugh. He has lost a loyal and supportive female influence in his life. He has lost the Queen, who looked after him and loved him and cared for him and tried to keep him in the royal family and forgive him and make allowances for him. And he is now facing a situation where he does not have female support. He's also lost Catherine's support, also an earth sign woman. They're stable, devoted, dedicated, kind, generous, grounded, sensible, caring, nurturing, all of those lovely things that the Queen of Pentacles represents. He's lost that. He's lost the Queen and he's lost Catherine's support as well. It's very, very, very obvious from her body language and that little walkabout that they did outside the gates at Windsor. And then throughout the day of the funeral, big snores, big snores and a little nightmare. But he's also dealing on the home front with a woman who is not, in my opinion, supportive and kind and grounded and nurturing. He's dealing with someone who is quite off with the fairies, who is probably having tantrums, who's probably being very difficult, who doesn't support him, isn't kind to him. He's learning some hard lessons. Just touching the Tower card here, reminding us, let's put it back in, reminding us that what they're dealing with is a big, big shock and a big fall from grace. How is she, the wife of number 5? Now, is she angry, upset, pleased with herself, smug? What's the mood? The mood for Megs in Montecito. And we get the Star in reverse. We get the Star card. Have a look at it. I'm trying to get the shine off the cards. That's why I'm putting them down there. These cards are very, very, very shiny. That is the Star. And the Star is in reverse. Her star has fallen. It is about despair when the Star is in reverse. We'll put it back in its place in reverse. Despair, loss of hope. This is a big card. Big cards coming out in this reading, actually. The Tower and the Star, the fallen star. The loss of hope, the loss of glamour and illusion, and the idea of being a star, of being top dog in the royal family. She knows she's not. Excluded from the big events, although she leaked photos, allegedly, from Buckingham Palace, looking like a ghoul, going down those stairs behind King Charles. But she really has fallen. She has fallen very far down, and she's fallen into despair. She is depressed. He is looking for someone to support him and prop him up, and doesn't have it. So he's a bit, he's a bit sort of lost his stuffing. almost, but deflated. But she is seriously deflated. She's in trouble. She's in trouble emotionally because she's depressed. The Star in reverse is a card of depression, loss of hope, despair, loss of faith, loss of purpose, loss of your path, knowing that you've taken a wrong turning as well. She possibly has realized that by exiting, cutting off the royals and saying such terrible things about them, she really cut her own nose off to spite her own face. She has rearranged her face quite a lot, but allegedly, a very difficult card for her as the dog scratches at the door again. We'll ignore him. Harry, next steps. What's he going to do? How is he going to recover his good mood? And we got the Five of Cups. Five of Cups. Oh, too many shines. Five of Cups. Five of Cups in reverse. He is going to try and get over this grief, but it's going to be very hard work. Five of Cups is sorrow, regret, remorse, focused on the bad things that have happened and not able to focus on the good things in his life. He is going to try and turn it around, and possibly, because normally in the Five of Cups you focus on the three spilled cups and ignore the two good cups behind you. My mind is telling me, my intuition is telling me that the two cups that he's still got to focus on, that he's going to be focusing on here with this attempt to turn his mood around and get over this grief and regret and loss and all the terrible things that the Five of Cups represents, is he's going to focus on his children. And of course, it's about time. They've been away for weeks and weeks and weeks away from those children. So giving them some attention, trying to find something good in the situation, that at least he has them. They may not have their HRHs and their prince and princess titles or even birth certificates or anything like that. I'm just kidding, of course, my opinion, speculating. But that's what he's going to try and do. What is our Megzi going to do? And oof. She is going to be reasserting her authority. Shiny, shiny card again. That's the Empress. She is, well, I did a little reading a while back on pregnancy rumors. Pregnancy rumors. The Empress is a pregnancy card, a classic pregnancy card like the Ace of Cups. That she could be going through one of those moments again to draw attention to herself, to perhaps at some later date suffer a tragic loss, as she already has allegedly suffered a tragic loss. But that is an interesting card, the Empress. But she's also trying to reassert herself as the top dog in terms of the alpha female, shall we say, in the hierarchy, because she's been pushed down now and she's going to clap back. This is not an aggressive card. It's not telling me she's going to go scorched earth and, look out, royal family. She's reeling from shock. They both are reeling from shock at the moment. From the blows that they've sustained in the UK, unexpected blows. They really didn't foresee any of this, and who did? Can't blame them for once. But she's going to be trying to reassert her authority and saying, I'm the most desirable woman. Look in the mirror and who's the most beautiful of them all. That's what she's going to be doing, because the Empress is the Venus card. It is about your looks, your beauty, your desirability, your creativity, your worth, your value. It's the queen of all queens, the Empress. And we have just lost an Empress. There we have the fallen Queen of Pentacles, and here we have her. She's going to be trying very hard to assert herself, to insert herself into the narrative, and to get her status back. It's telling me she's going to be trying to grab some status from the other royals in some way. She's got those interviews lined up. She was supposed to be at the UN. There is, of course, a memorial service in, I think, Washington next week. We might see her there, falling over the coffin, the metaphorical coffin. She did manage to squeeze out a tear in London. Perhaps she'll squeeze 2 tears out in Washington. But look out for it. It's coming. How were they? What was the expectation before they set off, before this tower moment hit them? Six of Cups. It's an interesting card, the Six of Cups, in reverse, because the Six of Cups is memory, but difficult memory. Past. That's difficult. A past you don't want to go back to. A past you can't go back to. Haunted by the past. So they weren't looking forward to going back to the royal family. They were trying to, in fact, ironically, avoid the royal family. They were invited to Balmoral, didn't go. William and Catherine moved in around the corner, didn't go and visit them. So they were trying to avoid the past. They were trying to dodge it. They were trying to dodge people from the past. Well, the tower fell, and they couldn't dodge. And they had to face them head on. Very awkward, very difficult. And outcome for them going forward. How is the energy, the vibe between them, the dynamic between them now? And not a good card, 8 of Swords in reverse. These are it's a very dark tarot, this tarot deck. I'm inclined to sort of not touch them. You may have been noticing I don't really want to touch the cards, and I keep throwing them away. It's a completely subconscious instinct. That's the 8 of Swords. It's the 8 of Swords in reverse. The trap, the mental anguish, the fear, the difficult situation that they've got themselves into and they want to get out of. Neither of those cards, the before energy was difficult energy, avoidance energy, and this energy is wanting to escape, both wanting to escape, wanting to get out of the mess that they have made, this tower that has fallen, and wanted to crawl out of the wreckage and rehabilitate themselves, in her case, rehabilitate themselves, try and get over this terrible regret and remorse. In his case, he is the one that's really suffering emotionally. Let's just say that. Her ego has taken a major knock. And her sense of self and her purpose has suffered a terrible blow. He has lost his foundation, his support system, and he's racked with guilt and remorse right now and is trying to recover from that. And she is going to, as I say, try and puff herself up, her sense of self-importance, her desirability. We could see her being quite provocative out there and trying to look really sexy. That burger grilling video comes to mind, and the perfume ad as well. Frightening stuff, but trying to weasel their way out of the mess that they have made. Whether it's weasel their way out of the relationship that they have landed in, the two of them try and get away from each other, or try and just get away from the mess that they have made of such a blessing that they were given to be members of the royal family, to be given so much and loved so much, and threw it all away. But very difficult energy, not happy in Montecito, not at all, despite the spin. And we got the spin card out here, don't want to touch it. The spin card there in the middle of this reading, very, very, very busy with the Hotmail account and with what's left of her PR team, and trying to put some positive spin on the situation. But around it is carnage. That's the reading. I'll go and let the dog out now, and see you on the next one.